Once upon a time, there was a great city called Azteca. All its citizens loved Adaptavus, the royal family of Azteca, and they loved them back equally. The Adaptavists were rarely seen among the community, only coming out when specifically needed. However, people of Azteca knew that they would come to their rescue if anything came along that they could not handle themselves. The townspeople were called innatives. The innatives went about their daily lives like typical town folk, doing all the common activities which keep them, as well as their town, healthy and happy. There were often wild animals that tried to come into the town called pathogens, which would attempt to destroy the town as well as the folks inside it. However, the Innatives community was readily available for battle with these pathogens to protect their land as well as their people. The Innatives can sense that there is danger in the area due to signals released by their injured peers shortly after the attack is initiated. They then create a defense called inflammation, which serves to establish a physical barrier against the spread of the attack and to promote healing of any damaged property following the clearance of those attackers. This inflammation defense can be spotted due to the redness of the sky, the sudden rise of temperatures of the surrounding. There were several different types of Innatives people, and they had different roles among the battle for their own community. Eosinophilus were a part of the granulocyte family. Their battle tactics included secreting a range of weapons called highly toxic proteins and free radicals. They are highly effective in killing bacteria and parasites. They are also responsible for damage occurring during allergic reactions of battle, which may end up causing damage to their own town. Activation and toxin release by Eosinophilus is therefore tightly regulated by the town to prevent any inappropriate destruction. Basophilus were as well a part of the granulocyte family. They release chemical signals called histamine and heparin and trigger inflammation. They are the rarest of the village folk. The releasing of histamines are important in defense against parasite invaders. Mastacellulose were the healers of wounds as well as defenders against pathogens. Mastacellulose rapidly released different chemicals to aid battle called characteristic granules, rich in both histamine and heparin, along with various hormonal mediators and chemokines or chemotactic cytokines into the environment. All these chemicals cause the characteristic signs of inflammation and recruits neutrophilus and macrophagous warriors to aid in battle. There are phagocytosis warriors as well. Dendriticus cellulose were present on the outside of the city, guarding the people within. They have a special ability to signal upon the almighty Adaptavus when they realize very dangerous bacteria, parasites, or toxins are attacking their own village. Macrophages were called large eaters. They were bigger than all the other engulfing warriors. They were the most efficient of eaters and could swallow a large number of bacteria or microbe attackers. When these bacteria bind to the macrophages receptors, they trigger their warrior instincts to engulf. As they eat, they also release a chemical called chemokine, which summons other defensive warriors to the site of their attack. Neutrophilus were a part of the granulocyte warriors, and usually first to arrive to battle. They used a variety of toxic substances that kill or inhibit growth of bacteria and fungi attackers. They are the most abundant warriors, and their defense is similar to that of the macrophage, as they are triggered to attack through phagocytosis waves of battle. Monocyticus were able to participate in phagocytosis, such as some of their neighboring citizens. Antigen presentation to identify the intruder more easily, as well as signaling to other cellulose for help. Monocytosis, which migrate from one part of town to other, may change rank, and will then differentiate into resident groups such as macrophages or dendriticus cellulose. NK cellulose provide rapid response to viral infected attackers and respond to tumor formation. Their training has allowed them to adopt the ability to recognize stress situations in the absence of antibody signals. This allows for a much faster defensive reaction than it would take for the adaptose people to arrive. Along with assisting the native folk, the NK cellulose are also able to formulate antigen-specific immunological memory just like the adaptose people. This is crucial, as it allows them to kill off any secondary infections with the same antigen. The role of NK cellulose in both the innatist and adaptivist responses has become increasingly important to the town. Sometimes, however, the innatist community ran into some heavy trouble that they could not deal with themselves. This trouble came from creatures deep within the forest. They're the dark forest, and so their battle tactics were uncommon. These creatures were ones such as cancers. These were the scariest of the beasts. While the innatist people did what they could to stop them, their defense systems were no match for the mastery and stealth and trickery. Adaptivists were bred to battle specifically with each and every one of these scary intruders. If the first line of the innatist defense was broken, there would be no choice but to warn the adaptivist family to come and protect the people of Azteca and their town. The adaptivists would quickly come to the rescue. They would work to fight off the invaders in many specific ways, by recognizing the antigen of the attackers with a special tool only they have, called an antibody. The adaptivists will be ready for battle. After the adaptivists defeat their enemy, they will always remember them and provide immunity to their town from future attacks. The adaptivist family was bred and born within the walls of their castle called Bones Marrow. Each member of the adaptivist family had specific rules in defending their city. T-cellulose. They did not use antibody weapons. Instead, they used battle tactics called cell-mediated immune response, which used weapons such as antigen-specific cytotoxic T lymphocytes, which would help B-cellulose and kill virus-infected beings. They would identify the intruders through apoptosis in body cells displaying signs of foreign antigen on their surface, such as virus infection, intracellular bacteria, and cancer. These antigens would be activated through macrophages and NK cellulose as well, enabling to destroy the pathogens. B-cellulose are involved in the creation of the weapons called antibodies against soluble antigen. Some of these weapons were called immunoglobulins and globulins. Each of these antigen weapons was able to neutralize specific pathogens. Sometimes when T-cellulose comes to assist B-cellulose, these antibodies bind to antigens, making them easier targets for phagocytes. Therefore, it is not always the T-cellulose and B-cellulose killing off the invaders, but once they arrive, they make all the people natives stronger and able to defeat the animals called pathogens themselves. When B-cellulose and T-cellulose are activated in battle, some will embrace the memory of the attack and store it in files called memory B-cellulose and memory T-cellulose. Throughout the lifetime of an animal, these memory files will form a database of effective B and T attacks. Upon interaction with the previously encountered antigen, the appropriate memory file will be read, and a battle attack will be implemented once again. In this manner, the second and subsequent exposure to an antigen produce a stronger and faster immune response. Although the adaptivist people did not come out as often as the folks at home, the folks of Azteca knew that they would show up whenever the town was in danger and need of their help.